How's it going? So the third WebAssign question asks for the gravitational force of attraction between two objects would be increased by doing what? So I already wrote out the equation. It's the force of gravity is equal to big G times m1 times m2 over d squared. And some teachers write r squared on the bottom. Either way works. Now there are four options. Doubling the mass of both objects, doubling the distance between objects, doubling the mass of both objects, and doubling the distance between the objects, and the fourth option, doubling the mass of one object and doubling the distance between the objects. Now, if you plug in numbers into this equation, you can try to figure out which answer is correct. So honestly, I'd say that's the best way to do it. At least that's how I would approach it. There's another way where you can try to logic it out. Now, in a fraction, if you increase the size of the numerator while the denominator stays constant, the fraction will become bigger. So if I had the fraction 5 over 2, that's 2.5. Now if I made the numerator bigger, so it was now 10 over 2. So now the fraction is bigger. But on the other hand, if I made the denominator bigger, if I went from 5 over 2 to 5 over 5, my number got smaller. So if the numerator increases while the denominator stays constant, it's a bigger number. If the denominator increases while the numerator stays constant, it's a smaller number. So if I double the mass of both objects, my numerator is increasing, which means I get a bigger number. And the question wants to increase the force of gravitational attraction. So this one seems like it works, so I'll put a check next to it. Number 2 is the distance between the objects is doubled. Now, if I double the distance there, I'm increasing this magnitude of the denominator, which would make the number smaller. So I don't think that sounds right, right? Now if I double the mass of the objects and I double the distance, you could be just like saying, oh, I'm doubling the numerator, so I'm making it bigger, but at the same time, you're doubling the denominator, and because there's a squared, because it's d squared, you're actually going, like whatever you're doing here, so like if you're multiplying this by 2 essentially, by doubling it, it's being divided by 4 because this is 2 squared. So this doesn't really work out either. If you double one's mass and you still double the distance, you run into the same issue. Because I mean, you're still increasing the denominator too much. This one just increases the numerator. So this is the right answer. So yeah, doubling mass of both objects is the right answer for number 3.